Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Gonna get started. Please take a seat. Please silence your cell phones. You too.
Silence your watches.
Yeah. Silence your watches, everything. Your pagers. All right, let me share my screen. Optimize for video. We have a lot to cover today, so I am going to get started. All right, so people, can you see our screen? I hope. All right. First of all, welcome to Kent North. We've hired more people in the month of May. Welcome Amber, Juan, Jonathan, Christopher, and Quinn. Welcome. I figured we'd start the meeting off with some great news, not good news, great news. And that is that McKenna is joining us full-time now for our marketing services representative. Speech. What? I said prepare a 5-minute speech, no chat GPT. You can't choose. That's right. She's gonna go on vacation and then come back and then help us out. But we're really thrilled that she has decided to join us full time. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And actually, let's give it up for staff, actually, because they have been amazing lately. All the food, the breakfasts, every single event, they're just like all in. So I just love our team. So thank you. All right, Rock and Bowl 2023. Hopefully you guys made it and had fun with us. Thank you everyone that can make it. We did have a lot of fun. There's lots of photos and videos. But it's exciting to be able to have that kind of event each year, and we're thankful that that is back. Speaking of events, we are still working on golf tournament. So we're working on details of finding a event place to have it. Also, we have already got Annie Fitzsimmons booked for the new 2024 laws, rules, and forms changes. So we'll have her in October. So please be on schedule for that. And you definitely don't want to miss that. October 4th. So October 4th, River Rock. Don't be late. That'll be going over all of the new changes. With that, I'd like to hand things over to Mr. Emmanuel Fonte, our special guest. Hi. I know.
This is cool. Time keeps on slipping.
Into the future.
Let's try that again. Time keeps on slipping. What's the chorus of that song? Fly Like an Eagle. What movie was that in? Space Jam. So my son Josiah would play that nonstop. And the reality is time keeps slipping the future for all of us. Doesn't it? The only thing in life we actually have control over is how we spend our time. That's it. Sounds very stoic. Stoicism, anybody, right? Like we don't get to control anything else. So the market is the market. There'll be 4.2 million transactions in the nation, residential resale this year. 4.2 million. That means there's lots for you to sell, yes? There's only 2.3 million less than in 21. Are you doing the math in your head too?
Yeah.
So there were 6.5 million transactions in 21 for residential resale. There's gonna be 4.2 this year. So you're gonna have to do something different, yes? I did not know Lennox was here, so here we go. My last position at corporate was Vice President of Ultimate Client Relationship and Digital Strategies, the best job at the company, hands down, and the only one with a federally registered trademark. And we committed ourselves to engagement with our relationship database. Yes, do you remember those days? And now it's what? Connectivity. Same thing. And if we're not connected to the people that we know and care about, someone else will try to get in there. Have you noticed that you're getting hit up on a variety of different things in all different industries? Because people are desperate, because the volume is down by 4.3 million transactions, 2.3, excuse me. So whatever your outcome goals that you have for yourself have to be adjusted in terms of what you're going to do. Because the only thing you get to control is time, not the market. Do we agree on that? So you didn't come for a time management schedule or seminar, but the reality is how we spend our time is in direct proportion to how much money we make, yes? So we have our relationship database that we should be connected to and giving value to every day, yes?
Yes.
And then there's people we don't know yet.
Yes.
Thank you. It's not complicated. You have people you know and people you don't know yet. We'd agree with that.
Yeah.
So, couple of things about access home closing. It's not moving. Tell me why it's not moving. Did I break it?
Okay, now you do it. Okay, now
I'm
try.
glad it's not me.
Try.
So if you're unfamiliar with Access Home Closing, it's a joint venture between John L. Scott and Endpoint Closing, which is a subsidiary of First American. So a 92-year-old company and an over 100-year-old company. It's not out of my garage. This is legit. But there's two things that I want to just point out. How we serve you and your clients in two ways. One, we offer you peace of mind because we're in this hybrid world. We're not all digital, nor are we all what some people might call traditional. We're in this in-between world, which for now, in my opinion, and the experience we've had is where we need to be. Because we are humans doing work that serve other humans using technology, yes? And so we're not just a technology-based platform, but also a process. And so if we can save you time so that you're not chasing information, you can then use that time to do what it is that you want to do for your outcome, for your success, whatever that looks like for you. More time in Thailand, or more listings, or whatever that may be. But we want you to make sure that you have peace of mind that in the process, there's communication, there's security, there's ease, and we also have a flat fee model. So it's a very simple process and very affordable. We're not at the very bottom of the market, but we're certainly nowhere near the top. So regardless of price point, one flat fee. I don't need any more pictures, so I'll leave that with you. The other way that we help, and it's a business development conversations, we have Access Home Closing. That's where you'll do all your escrow and title work. We'll do that for you, I should say, and communicate through the portal, through email, text messages, because text messages get read within how long?
5 minutes.
90 seconds on average. Emails get read typically, if they're read, 90 minutes. So lots of ways to communicate, and we made sure that we're communicating with you. The other side, Access Home Tools, is about the people you don't know yet. So think of lead generation. What are the different ways we can use our time for lead generation? I'll use a phrase that Lennox uses, be masters of the obvious. How do you lead generate? Just give me the options. Call. How do you know whom to call? Your CRM, so those are people you're already connected to, great. So call, amen. Curator just put out a post on percentage of people answering their phones through their system, 21%. 21% answer their phones. So when people say nobody answers their phone anymore, might not be true. Excellent, what else? Social media, again, people you're already connected to, or with targeted marketing, people you aren't connected to, excellent, what else? Mailing, so again, you need to know whom that is, great, so collateral, excellent. There's this thing called seller listing launch, it's a federally registered trademark, anyone familiar with that? Meeting people at an open house. The best bait in real estate is a listing, yes? Okay, so we're clear on that. So the challenge is on all of those, we're gonna call, we're gonna mail, we're gonna do social media, we're gonna do invitations to your seller listing launch. How do you know whom to communicate and who's the most likely to transact? How would you have that information?
Through your title and escrow company.
Through certain title and escrow companies, absolutely. So our commitment is not just to make it easy simple, secure, fast, but also then to help you get the next piece of business that you need to survive in this business. And when Annie's coming, I'm sure she's gonna talk about the buyer agency that's required, et cetera. You know how we all win? How do we win in real estate? Have the listings. Would anybody disagree with that? Market share is all about listings. Say amen if this was church.
Amen.
We need more listings, yes or no? Okay, it's not complicated. So you're gonna talk to people you do know already, or people you don't know yet, and of the people you don't know yet, whom should you communicate with? People that are able to do something when it comes to real estate. So we have data that we pay for from CoreLogic, which is the Rolls Royce of real estate data at the moment. There's no perfect data in anything. You can talk about AI and there's a whole conversation about that. But when it comes to real estate data, CoreLogic is hands down the best there is in the market. You know who uses CoreLogic? All of you. You're members of the NWMLS. That's who powers all their data. It is the best in the country. The NWMLS is probably the most progressive, strongest MLS in the country. Would that be fair to say, Lennox? So, do you want data that will tell you when someone is likely to move?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Why is it only one yes? Because you can talk to people. So what happens with most title and escrow companies, you say, I want 50 postcards. Do you do free postcards? I should have asked you this before. You don't. So if you had 50 postcards for your just listed or your just closed, most companies say, I want 50 names. They're going to put a pin and give you a radius until it shrinks down to 50 names. Yes, that's what most companies do.
Yeah.
Why do we not do that? Because it is a waste of your money. It's a waste of your time. Imagine sending a postcard to the home that's right next door to the listing that you just closed because you're trying to get people to consider using you for their listing agent and they just bought 4 days ago. How useful is that? It's not. How about to go to that same address, but it's not owned by that person, they're a renter. How useful is that if the message is you're trying to get a listing? It's not. So non-owner occupieds, we can parse that because you may want to go after non-owner occupieds. You know that this is the highest equity in the United States in history. People have more equity today than in the history of the United States real estate market. That should excite you because you only get to control your time and whom you're talking to. So if you book with Chase.com, which currently goes to me because Chase is on his honeymoon as of today. How dare he? I got mine out of the way early. Talking to the right people in the right sequence is so very important. I'm a huge Tom Ferry fan. I know many of you are. Postcards. What the questions are on those postcards, what the call to action is, or the call to conversation from your marketing, be it social media, collateral, or phone calls, matter. So when you have data that tells you in a neighborhood what the percentage of people that sold their home in whatever period of time you want, what the price they got for that, and now you have a conversation. Did you know that X% of your neighbors sold last year or in the last 6 months at this number? Do you sound more intelligent and more knowledgeable and more helpful than the person say, hey, have you thought about buying or selling? Like that story's old, right? Like we don't make phone calls because we don't feel confident about what to say and the questions to ask. Is that a fair assessment? Or we don't think anyone's going to answer. 21% of it answered. Think about that for a second. 21% of phone calls get answered. Now, when that person answers and you have data that will help you have a better conversation so that it's a more likely opportunity to be at their kitchen table to list their home, is that something you'd rather do than just blast people with information? So I'm not trying to do puffery. Remember puffery? Anybody take their license lately? That's the only time you ever use that word is when you're taking your license. Remember that? You pass your license. When's the last time you used the word puffery? Or riparian rights? You don't even remember you had to pass the test with riparian rights. You haven't used them since. My point being, we're committed to helping you get more business, to do it well, to give you peace of mind, but also committed to helping you not just do blast marketing, but targeted marketing. Also for listings that are maybe challenged to sell, even though we have a shortage, sometimes things stay on the market a little bit longer. You can reverse engineer all that data to find the more likely buyers for your listings. So imagine going to your listing presentation and not just say we have the best marketing, because we do. We have websites that have neighborhood videos, full, massive HD pictures, everything that you have your John L. Scott website. But imagine being able to then say, and we know how to target for the buyer of this home.
That's a different conversation at your listing presentation, isn't it? Because with all this conversation about AI and stuff, that's not my point here, is that data is available to us. It is how we choose to use it to help propel our careers is what is important. And so our commitment is not just to be excellent in title and escrow, which we are, but our commitment is to help you get more business. And you know, the belief is if we help you, maybe you'll give us the opportunity to serve you in that title and escrow closing experience, but that's not, we're not a one-trick pony. I think that the puffery thing I'm talking about is, I'm the only one that I know of in the state of Washington leading a title and escrow company that's a real estate person. My brain goes to your job first. I is one of you. I'm still licensed, like I is you. And so what you do and what we have to do to meet those goals today is different than it was 18 months ago. It just is. And that's okay, because that will separate the great ones that are in this room from some of the other in the marketplace. I was trying to be polite with my words, because you're amazing. But if you're not matching and meeting those financial goals, units are down, let us help you. That's what we're here for. We're committed to you and your success. Thoughts or questions before this is a really powerful thing right here. I'm just kidding, I'll give it back to you. Questions or thoughts before I go?
No, can I make a comment? I think that I had a listing and I absolutely love Pace. I've actually used you guys before. And where he really stood out was I didn't even have this listing with him, with you guys. And he reached out to me. He saw that I've been in the market for way too long. And he said, how can I help you? Let me go ahead, and he set up a time and we got creative and we did some work. And so right after that, I shot him over a listing. And so that's a way that you guys were able to differentiate yourself by the other.
Thanks, Bobby.
That's really cool.
And we are you, right? If you don't know Chase, it's a good thing because he was in the legal department at John Scott. So the fact you don't know him is a good thing, but he is that. He is a committed person to help, that is to be a teacher. And so I think that spirit is in him. Eric, I thank you for the opportunity. It's good seeing you all. Book with chase.com. I'll walk you through it. We'll get what you need. Promise. We'll deliver. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
All right, time for a Northwest MLS update. For the camera can still see me. First and foremost, we got vacant land listing scams are still happening a lot. Earlier in the month, we had the FBI talking about stuff that they're dealing with and wire fraud, and vacant land listings are probably one of the top things that they see also. It's because no one's living there. Anyone can say, oh yeah, I own this property. What's it look like? It's got trees and bush on there and dirt. Yeah, and some rocks. Oh, okay, that sounds legit. I'll list it. We've even got stung a couple times even here in the office. So got some things to kind of go over to make sure that we stay safe. Some red flags to watch out for. Seller claims that they can't meet in person and must do everything by email. This is the one like for sure thing that they're constantly doing. They will not come meet you. The seller claims to have family emergency or needs quick cash, will accept substantially less than full price. I mean, the same thing happened to us. They literally were like, you know what, let's drop the price. So like, we just listed it. Like, why would we do that? So watch out for that. Seller doesn't want earnest money and requires a quick close. Or a flip to that is they want non-refundable earnest money. So they're trying to get like really low price, get multiple offers. And then you get someone who's like, yeah, we'll release earnest money early. That definitely is something I would totally avoid, release of earnest money in vacant land deals right now. It's just too dangerous. Seller's email address, phone numbers are from another country. Seller's photo IDs and driver's license or passports are barely eligible. We've seen a couple of samples where they send it and it's super light and they totally are making them in Photoshop. So make sure you get, really good clear copies if you are dealing with someone. Seller seems unwilling to perform the terms of the contract, does not return paperwork. This one definitely, they're really slow at paperwork, or it's just every single time it's like a hassle. They won't answer the phone. It's Another sign, seller becomes angry, applies pressure to make sure the deal goes through. That's another one we've heard is like they get really upset and try to force the sale fast. So just some things to watch out for. And some best practices, ask the seller for detailed information concerning the property, including parcel number, annual taxes, exact location, other identifying information. Independently research the names of the seller and require an in-person or virtual meeting to review their government issued ID. So always try to have them come to the office especially. Contact the listed property owner using a verified telephone number or send an overnight service letter to the address for the property taxes. So, you know, whenever you see vacant land, you'll see wherever they currently reside for taxes. So send an overnight letter to there, you know, because that's another way that you can get a message to someone fast. Verify that the notary is a real person appointed by an applicable government agency. FBI has said that they even had fake, notaries and stuff. I mean, other stuff in other countries. I mean, and they said that they've had success. The reason that they're continuing to do these, they've actually gotten money. So that's why they're going to continue to do it. And these are large sums of money. Recommend that your clients create a Google and or property alert for their vacant land properties. This one's a little bit harder. I know what they're trying to say here. Like you can turn on Google alerts for like a search, specific to their address. You got a vacant land property that has like XXX 36th Street Northwest. It might be a little bit hard to do that, but it's definitely worth it. And then last, verify the signature on the ID with signatures on recorded docs in the county. You can pull up recorded docs from that past sale, take a look at the signatures and have them sign something else and, say, hey, go ahead and sign this without Authentisign. Sign it, scan it back to me and verify, look at the signatures, see if they match. So that's another technique. And then, very last, take extra steps to locate the seller contact information. Try to call them directly to inquire about the potential listing. I heard that from another office that they actually did this and then did find the seller. They're like, no, I'm not trying to sell that. That's for my family. It's in our trust. So again, just things to watch out for. All right, when computing time for purchase and sale agreements, please regard Monday, the 29th as a legal holiday. So do not count for computation of time. So 5 days or less, Monday is not going to count. Guaranteed, I'm going to get phone calls and so will Tony, so will Jim on this is like, do we count Monday? How many days? How many time? When is my inspection due? So just have it ready, start talking to clients and be aware that that is going to not count. And also we will be closed on that day and we close early, right, Amy, on Friday at 3. Is that correct? All right. Time for market update, the 6 phases of the yearly housing cycle. We are in pre-summer. We're almost over though. So getting ready for that last part of it in June. Mortgage rates, went over 7% today. The rates are the rates, right? I mean, it is what it is, nothing we can do, but there are ways to get around that, and we'll have Mr. Hafner talk about that at the Mortgage Minute. All right, let's talk King and Pierce County. Go to this side, it's a little bit blurry. Key box activity statistics right now, it kind of matched pretty much where March was. A lot of this has to do with the new listings coming on, which you guys have in your handouts, Pierce County and King County updates. Regional update for King County, right now median sales price is at $875, it's off 12.5%. And year to date, we're at $837,500, which is off 8.5%. It's not a huge difference, but it's still down a tiny bit. King County residential only, 2,021 listings came on in April. Last year at the same time, 3,296. You guys see the pattern that we've been talking about all year? What's been happening?
Way fewer listings.
Way fewer new listings coming on the market.
But more are on the market. Is that just because fewer listings are selling in the first couple weeks or?
So yeah, the inventory is a little higher compared to where it was last year, right? 3,296, excuse me, 1,842 total active, when last year at the same time, 1,572. So it's up 17.18%. But the real story is new list, like what do buyers want? Do they want stale bread? No, they want the new listings. It's all about the new listings, always. Right, Lennox?
And the unsold inventory is what you were looking at there, right? The
Yes.
1,500 or so.
Yep.
It's mainly in the high-end luxuries where there's additional unsold inventory. It's not in the more affordable mid where 80% of the transactions take place.
Yeah. So that's why it's like way important for those new listings. Pending sales at 1866, right? And last year, same time was 2588, so it's down 27.90%. Closed sales at 1456. And last year is at 2352, so we're at 38.10%. And the median sale price is 875,000. Last year, same time was 995, so it's down 12.06%. But like Lennox said, that's all combined of all the prices. And then that is a 1.27 month supply. King County condos only, same thing, only 617 listings, new listings. Last year, same time, 903. Total inventory, 719. And last year at the same time was 536, so it's 34.14% increase. And pending sales are at 569. And last year it was 768, and it's down 25.91%. And closed deals is 420. Last year, same time was 708, and that's 40.68% down. For a median price of 502,500, and that is off by 2.99%. And that's a 1.71 month supply for condos in King County. You guys have all these in your handouts. Pierce County update. April for 2023, median price was 527,500. That's off 8.9%. Year to date, it's 525,000, which is off 5.4%. Pierce County residential only, 950 listings. That's it. Month of April. Last year, same time, 1670. You guys keep an eye on the 24-hour market watch, on your Northwest MLS. You can change that to the 1 day, the 24-hour, 1 day, 5 day, 7 day. If you notice, it's like 3 times the rate of new listings coming on to the pending, or to pendings to new listings. So pendings and solds are coming off 3 times the amount of new coming on. It's been sticking to that pattern all year. So it's all about the new listings. In fact, most of the data that's coming up is that the fact that it's all about life change is where sales are happening. That's probably the number one thing. It's estate sales, it's death, it's divorce, it's move out, move up, move down, it's people job moves, more people being forced to come back into the office space. The companies are doing that. If you don't come back, you're gonna get laid off. You hear that? That's a new thing that's starting to be announced. So it's more and more about trying to get in front of people who, are gonna have life change. And that's where the sales are happening. Raise your hand if you've had a sale already this year for an estate, divorce, move up, move down. A good half the room. So if you can get in front of your database, talk more about that, that will obviously help keep you connected to where when those events happen, you're first in line. All right, Pierce County, last but not least, 525, median price. It's off 9.48%, and it's only 1.05 month supply. Pierce County condo, 69 total condos came on. That's it for April. Last year it was at 103. There's only 82 on. Last year there was 54. It's up 51.85%. 74 pendings. Last year was 90. It's off 17.78%. And closed deals was 62. Last year was 100. So that's off 38%. With a median price of 396,475, which is up 6.1%. And that leaves a 1.32 month supply. All right. I know we mentioned this last month, but I gotta mention it again. Like, we have to use off-market letters. It's a must. We've already had a few people have success with doing this, and it's like the first time they've ever done it. And it's for their buyers. It doesn't matter if you can find the house in the MLS. You have to switch your thinking. You heard Emmanuel talk about it. With this short of inventory of new listing coming on, you really have to try to control the inventory. Have you guys heard this saying? he who lists last, or he or she who lists lasts, you need the listings. And I know it's so tough right now. You gotta do everything you can. And when you have buyers, that is magic right now. I know the rates are higher and it's tougher, but if you use the off-market letters and send them out to the neighborhoods to exactly where they want, you may end up getting a listing for it. You have to include the 5 elements though to get 10 times the results. Name the sellers, name the buyers, name the community. You have to mention that you are not looking to list their home. And of course, handwrite the outside of the envelope. If you use all of these elements, you should get a lot more success. A couple brokers in here have been doing this. In fact, they just doubled down. They started out with doing, let's see, I think he did like 500 letters. Now this person is doing over 2,500 letters because he's already gotten listings from it. So he's doubled down. You guys have got to keep doing more. Who has sent a letter so far this month with your free 125 mailings? I see 2 people in the whole room, 3 people. That's not enough. I mean, realistically, every single one of us should be sending these. If you have a buyer, or even if you have a seller, I mean, you're gonna have to do more. All right, I'm off my soapbox. And also all buyers should be fully underwritten approved. If you want to compete with offers, we've already heard 29 offers, 17 offers, multiple offers. I mean, it's just happening again, and it's because of the no new listings hardly coming on. It's just a trickle. So get certified mortgage ready, close 10 days. You can compete with some of these cash offers. And with that, I'll hand it over to Mr. Aaron Hafner for the mortgage minute.
Hey, someone to drop the microphone. Just drop it.
All right. Righty.
Ready, ready to go.
Righty, ready.
Well, thanks everybody for eating the food and the steak and everything else. Very good, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think about you last night. I was smoking it last night on my deck, so it's good. Yeah, so it's tough, right? We mentioned today about the rates. And I look at that every day and I go, oh, right? But at some point I gotta stop going, oh. So let's get here. So let's take a look at our favorite chart here, the 10-year treasury, okay? And so today it's at 3.719. And last week or last month when we talked, it was closer down to here, okay? And you can see from here, it's just been going up, not like, it looks like it's going up quickly. It's just been slow and slow and slow. Every day it's a little bit more, a little bit more. And so you keep pulling up these rates and that's the challenge because the uncertainty in the marketplace, you add about 3.5% to that, and that's how you get more current rates, right? And so what's causing this? What's causing the challenge right now is that you have the FDIC or the government selling bonds because they did all this stuff back in 2021 or 2020 to stimulate the economy and keep interest rates low. Now they're selling that stuff. Then you also have banks who are needing to liquidate money because they're afraid of going under. They need to keep solvent and everything else. And so what's happening is that you're bidding a bunch of bonds on the marketplace. So when you have a lot of bonds and not enough buyers, interest rates are going to go up. Okay. So that's what's kind of going on right now with the marketplace. And so there's really no, I look at that and I get frustrated too. And then at some point my mindset has to shift. So this is where we're at today. If you take a look at the average on it, you're probably around 7%. This is the average around the country. Yeah, and right now we're probably higher than that. So it's probably like 7.25 or something like that. And so, yeah, it sucks. So, but what do we do to get past that mindset? So to me, it's sort of like we have to get client. People are still going to buy, and the rate's the rate. But to get around that, you got to get into the game. And if you let them wait and not get into the game, then the problem is that once rates do come down, they won't be able to catch up. So let me show you what it looks like. So you have all this stuff. So listen to us. Okay. This is how we're going to work through it. So basically, if you take a look at the 10-year treasury was in June of 1981, it was 15.82%. Okay. You think it's bad? That was really bad. So then now what happens, you can see over the next couple of years, once the Fed was controlling inflation, interest rates dropped all the way down. So you get up here, yeah, it sucks for a little bit, but then you refinance out of it once interest rates come down. And when interest rates come down, what happens? Home values go up because interest rates are lower and more people can buy, right? And we're in an actually really good spot where if we go into recession, then we'll be a small R rather than a big R. So we'll have more people able to qualify for these loans. And so I met a client yesterday. Same thing. He was like, hey, he met 6 different lenders, had 15 pages of notes for what he wanted to buy this house, right? He had a 3-block radius. And and I talked to him, he's well qualified, got a couple $100,000 down. And I said, so what do you want from me? You already talked to 5 different people, right? So then he's like, well, I just need to make sure I get in. And I said, absolutely. So the idea is the rate is almost inconsequential at this point, as opposed to getting it in, because these loans are going to be short-term loans. As soon as these rates drop, people are going to refinance right away. And so if we get past what the interest rate is now and look to the future where we are going to probably refinance in the next couple of years, then maybe the interest rate is not nearly as bad. So let me show you an example. So we have a $700,000 purchase price, say the interest rate is 7%. And you pay points. We all talk about points. Points are fees that get a lower rate. If you pay no points, your payment's around $46.57. Okay, but if you do 6.125 and get your payment on the $42.53, you go from 0, you save $404, right? Sounds great. But it's gonna cost you $21,000 to do that. Right? So back in October, November, December of last year, it may have worked a little bit because sellers were kind of freaking out a little bit because they're like, hey, the house hasn't sold in a week, so I might adjust something with the price. But now you may not have that with all the competition. So are you better off saving $404 and paying $21,000 in fees? And your break even is basically 4 years. That's what I look at. We look at the break even point.
Is
So-
this, sorry, Aaron.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this, in this scenario, would that be a permanent buy down where you don't have to qualify for the higher amount then?
It's a permanent buy down. Yes. So the thing is, if you do the permanent buy down, you'll break even in 4 years. I paid 21,000, now I'm refinancing in a year and a half or 6 months. You just wasted the money, right? So my point is, like, that's the mind shift is not gonna be to the lowest interest rate possible. Why shoot for all that? When you can get lower cost, refinance later, you get into the game. And when interest rates drop back down again, you refinance out, okay? That's the concept. That'll work. And so to me, it's sort of like, hey, how do I work with a lender or work with a realtor as a team? Because it's so hard right now to get into a house. You really have to work together with your lender and the realtor at the same time to create a partnership so you can get into this house. Because if you can't get into it, because the rates are wherever they are, and you're not doing strategies to get you in, and we're not making a really good, compelling offer by working together, like close in 10 days, waive the financing if we need to. We have them fully approved. That's the secret sauce, I think, to get in, right? That's what we have to do. So to me, the rate is the rate, but why pay these other fees if we're just gonna refinance them later on? Let's get in the house now, gain the equity, and then we'll refinance in 6 months or 18 months later. And I'll cover the cost for the refinance. That's the other thing too. We'll cover it. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I know I'm preaching to the choir, but that's kind of the idea. That's my mindset, because if I get up in the morning and I look at these rates, I get upset. But there's ways that we can get them in and get people happy and create generational wealth. The other part is too, and this is the other part, the temporary buy down. I'm not gonna go into all this a bunch of detail, but the deal is with the temporary buy downs, you're paying a fee to get a lower rate for a short period of time. But that's a cost, okay? So in this scenario, it's around $16,000 on the same $700,000 loan. Back in November, or like October, November, December, sellers were paying that. If you're paying it yourself, I don't think it's a great idea, okay? So if the market's sitting on the house, if the home has been sitting for a while, and it makes sense to do that, then the seller's paying for it, then we can look at those options. But right now, it's just harder to do that. The seller's gonna bring their own money, especially if you're going like 10% down, and they're gonna bring an extra $16,000 down.
Well,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
with competing offers now.
Correct. That's the thing. So, yeah. So then here's the other couple things too, real quickly. Here's that heat map that we talked about last month, about how we can, how interest rates are gonna, or how the interest rates will rise depending on credit and stuff like that, how they've changed it. Now, they've kind of backed off of that a little bit, but here's the secret sauce, and this is what Lee and I will work on. So you can get these waivers waived, if that makes any sense. You get the waivers waived here if we do a home ready loan. And then we talked about this in the class last month. The home ready loan says, look, you can waive this heat map. This won't apply to you if you do a home ready program. Home ready program says the home has to be located in a certain area with an income limit. Okay, it's where the home is located. So I pulled up the address here in Kent, 99,680. So if you make less than 99,680, you can do this program. And you don't have to pay the additional hits that would go on here. Okay?
For family or individual?
Family, okay? So if you do 99,680, okay? Just compare it right. So if we were at 7, I think we're at 7.25 on the 30-year fixed. I did that same one today, I'm probably at 6.5%. So the thing is, that's the stuff that Lee and I will work with. We get with the client, we'll figure out ways to work around this dumb thing, okay? I'm sorry, get around this. So if we can do the home ready program in this area, it really makes a big difference on that. It's affordability, get them in, refinance later on, the rates drop back down.
And then they backed off on doing the debt to income.
Yep.
Hit on people. It's great news for a lot of people.
So rates are higher if your debt to income ratio went from 45 to say 50%. They got rid of that, but we'd get rid of it too if we can do a home ready program. Okay? And you don't have to be a first time home buyer to do that. You could have 15 houses and sold them. You do this program, you can do it, and you get rid of it and get a little rate. Again, the idea is to get everyone in so we can get that equity and build that wealth. The other part is we talked about too is the credit score piece. Just real quickly, 35% is your payment history, 30% is how much you owe. Okay, I get a question all the time. Well, if you pull my credit, it's gonna be bad. Only accounts for 10% of your overall credit score. The bigger thing is how you pay and how much you owe. And how long you've actually had the credit, but basically these two things impact more than anything else. Okay? Any questions on that? And then the other part too is if we do have bad credit, we have ways to improve credit, you know. We can use this thing called Wayfinder. What we do is we can do what if scenarios to figure out the credit score, go back to the bureaus very quickly, and then have it re-increased. Okay, Lee is excellent at doing that. She loves that stuff, right?
Love credits.
Right. Yeah. And then the other thing I want to show you this trigger lead, okay? This is not a horse in the Preakness of the Kentucky Derby, okay? Trigger lead. So here's the deal with this. If we, and this will apply to anybody who's making a mortgage application. The first thing is, if you go to the pre-qualified button on any lender, they're gonna say, we're putting in our website, you can opt out. So what happens is that once you make an application, the credit bureau sells that information to other lenders and they will call that person who made the application with us. Okay? This happens all the time. I had a friend of mine who get 40 phone calls. He's asking me, well, what's my phone bill? What'd you do? I said, I didn't do anything. Did you opt out like I told you to? No. So you go to the opt-out screen. This is off our website and it goes optoutprescreen.com. That looks hokey in itself, but that's where you have to go. Then on top of that, they give you this thing, okay? It says, what are the benefits of receiving offers? This is what the credit bureaus are telling you. Hey, you get more choices. More people call you up and get solid offers. I can't believe you're selling that on the website. Okay, to me, that's just, I won't say it. But anyhow, this is terrible. So then what you do is then it says, okay, fine, I want to opt out. So you could, initially you're opted in, so you have to opt out. So then it says, after 5 years, one option says electric opt-out option for 5 years. Your name will not be eligible for inclusion in the list for firm offers or credit insurance for 5 years. I want it off completely. Oh, okay. If you want to do it, you have to mail in a form, okay, of the election that you want, and then they'll process it for you. Okay. Lennox, you can help us out any way you can. It'll be helpful. But this is the kind of stuff that happens. So that's what we put on our website. Hey, look, you gotta opt out because they do get a ton of calls on this and they think it's us. And by proxy, it's you guys too, right? So that's the idea. You want to make a really good partnership and everything else on that. Any questions on that? I just thought that was just ridiculous. But and then there you go. Or a little mean, the more you know. Awesome. Any questions on that or anything else? You good? I got a trivia question, if it's okay.
Go for it.
Emmanuel's not here, right? Okay, you can't answer this question. I would do it in my English accent, but I only got one. The United Kingdom, okay, in the United Kingdom, what day is the day after Christmas known as?
Boxing Day.
What is it about?
Boxing Day.
What's that? It is. The name of it comes from when the rich used to box up gifts to give to the poor. Boxing Day was traditionally the day of service, the day when they received special Christmas box from their masters. The servants would go home on Boxing Day to give Christmas boxes to the parents.
You asked that already,
You
but
did.
we're gonna.
When did I do that? Did it really?
Thanks for that.
Okay, okay. I got one more for you guys. One last one. I'm getting old, sorry. Okay. Kingston, Zuma, and Apollo are the sons of which American female pop star?
Pink.
She's in the chair. What is it?
What's the funny?
Oh,
Gwen
Gwen.
Stefani. There you go. I totally forgot about that. Oh, you're right. Oh, I read about it. Can't see it. All right, well, that's all I got. If you have any questions, for us, again, you're willing to, if you just give us a shot. We'll work with you guys to get everyone into get these homes and make it complete.
I got one question. How
Yes,
long
sir.
does it take to get a buyer, fully underwritten ahead of time?
Yeah, about a week and a half.
Okay.
So once we get them, so they can still look, get them pre-approved, and while they pre-approved, we flip it on over to the full approval. Once it's all, you know,
It depends. Some buyers really straightforward, can take a few days.
Yeah.
If there's more intricacy, it can take a little bit longer, so you're gathering more details, but
basically, yeah. So, yeah, but less than 2 weeks, put it that way.
Yeah.
So if you have enough time in advance, we get everything ready to go. And they're ready, because once they're confident and they're certain, they can make offers, and the seller's certain they can accept that offer, they'll hopefully get the offer accepted. There you go.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, continue. Education development opportunities coming up. Tomorrow there is a death, divorces and taxes, clock hour class, 3 hours right here, lunch included from 11 to 2. So that's a good one. So free clock hours, free lunch tomorrow. Mr. Josh Hall, where are you? Is he still here? Hiding and running the corner. Develop your income producing database with Josh. I said your name. So Thursday, this Thursday, come see Josh right here from 10 to 11 a.m. Try to be here in person because you have one handout. And that's it. If you're on Zoom, you're not getting the handout. So show up.
So what that class is about, just so you guys know, so Eric and I were talking the other day, and so how many people came to John's class about building your like VIP list? Great, be working on that. As Eric and I were talking, I'm like, okay, that's a great thing to do, and it's on my list too. But I said, if these people that are in this class don't have their own database in order and a plan in place that they're executing on a daily, monthly basis, they're giving up the easy money to go chase something that's harder, right? So what I have put together is just what is my business plan for my database, right? That portion of my business. What do we do to call our database, mail to our database, email to our database, pop by to our database, events for our databases? What do we do for our database? And we've been doing the same thing with kind of modifications every year for the last 20 years. It gets us between, we have a database about 480 people. We do between 40 and 80 transactions a year from those 480 people. So, yeah, we just wanted to share kind of, here's what we've done, take it or leave it, but that's what we've been doing this work. So,
Yes.
and we're gonna try and fit all that in an hour, so it'll be.
So don't miss that. Don't miss it, okay? Thank you, Josh. Legal updates. We did have legal lunch on the 18th. The next one will be on June 15th. And of course, we'll have that right here. Legal symposium is the same time that Josh's class, so let's skip that one because I think Josh's class is a lot more important than that. Real estate news. Government affairs update. I'm going to click this and see if this works.
Hi there, I'm Nathan Gordon, the Government Affairs Director for your Washington Association of Realtors. Wanted to give you an update now that the Washington State Legislature has adjourned for the year. We went into this year knowing that Washington State was in last place in the country, 50th place in the number of housing units per family. And we have seen the impacts of that all over our state, from a lack of first-time homebuyer opportunities to a lack of move-down opportunities for our senior buyers, to frankly, the homelessness issues that we are grappling with in every single community across the state. So we went into this session asking the legislature to make this year the year of housing. And now that the curtain is kind of fallen, I think that they really did an excellent job on making this year the year of housing. I want to walk through a number of bills that the legislature pushed, and of course you can find more information about all of these bills on Washington Realtors website. So before we get to housing policy, let's talk quickly about two brokerage issues that will impact you and your buyers and your sellers. First is leasebacks and getting leasebacks exempted from the Landlord-Tenant Act. This is a really big deal, and the legislature passed a bill that said that leasebacks are exempted from the Landlord-Tenant Act under two conditions. One, that the written leaseback agreement is less than 3 months, and two, that the person entering into the leaseback agreement, i.e. the seller, is represented by either a realtor or an attorney. So that's a big deal. We're excited about that bill. Also, the legislature passed Real Estate Agency Act, updating real estate agency. What this bill will do takes effect January 1, 2024, so there'll be lots of education between now and then. But it will require that buyers sign a buyer's agency agreement that lays out what the commission is and where that commission is coming from. We've talked to lots of states who've put this in place. They've all told us that in 99% of transactions, that commission is still coming out of the proceeds of sale, like what is pretty typical now. But a little bit more transparency for the consumer. We think that's important. That transparency for the consumer is also providing some protection for our brokerages. So we're excited about that bill. Now let's dive into housing policy. The legislature passed probably 7 or 8 pretty big housing policy bills. I'm going to touch on a few of them right now. The bill that got the most ink is the missing middle housing bill. What that bill does is for communities of 25,000 to 75,000, it requires that they allow duplexes in single-family residences if the developer wants to build it. Again, nobody is forcing anybody to build duplexes in this bill. Nobody is forcing anybody to do anything. It's if this pencils out for the developer, then the local jurisdiction has to allow it. Those duplexes can go up to fourplexes if one of those units is affordable at 60% AMI. For cities above 75,000, requires local jurisdictions to allow fourplexes on single-family lots. Again, if the developer chooses to do that. And up to 6plexes if 2 of the units are affordable. Now, this is somewhat of a controversial bill because this is the state starting to exert some power over zoning, which has mostly been a local decision up till this point. Ultimately, our legislative committee, made up of realtors all across the country, decided that this was the right move to get more first-time homeowner opportunities, to get more of those move down opportunities as well, and to really create a marketplace that is a little bit fairer for those people who want to become homeowners. Let's talk though about a bill that didn't get as much ink, but I think has probably even more impact. That's the accessory dwelling unit bill. There was a bill passed that will require all jurisdictions within GMA counties to allow 2 accessory dwelling units with a minimum of 1,000 square feet per lot. They can be attached, they can be detached, one can be attached, one can be detached. There's any kind of variety that you can do on these. And that bill is going to take effect here 90 days after the governor signs it. So that's really exciting. I think it's a real good opportunity for current homeowners to build that accessory dwelling unit. I think it's a good opportunity for people who want to be homeowners to maybe have a little bit of an income producing property that may help them get into that home. So I think that's a really, really exciting bill. Another bill that's going to have a lot of impact, may take a little longer, is our condo townhome bill. This is something we've been working on for a number of years, and this year the legislature passed very strong margins what's called the right to cure. What the right to cure means that before a consumer can sue a developer for a construction defect in a condo, they have to give that developer the opportunity to fix that defect, right? Pretty simple concept. As we've been talking to developers saying, what will get you to build condos more? And not just condos, but those median priced condos, right? Right now, we do see some condo building in the more luxury space. But as we all know, condos can be a really good first-time product. And this is what they've told us, is the right to cure is a game changer for them. So we're hoping that that's the case, and we're hoping that we're going to see more condo construction moving forward. In addition to that bill, there was also a bill that said that buildings of 12 units or less can build according to single-family regulations rather than commercial regulations. So that will also cut some costs from the production of smaller condo units. And I think those two bills work really well together, right? So all of these bills are great, but if you can't get a building permit, right, none of them help anything. We're really happy to report that there were 3 pretty significant permit reform bills that were passed. A couple of them one of them having to do with SEPA, one of them having to do with design review standards. I think really the takeaway is it's going to make getting a permit, first of all, it's going to minimize the number of projects you need to do some SEPA for and other requirements for. It's going to make getting a permit easier, cheaper, faster. Really, really, really good news. A little bit more detail of that up on Washington Realtors website. So I think those are kind of the big bills I wanted to talk about. Again, hopefully you can see as we go through all of these bills, the legislature really stepped up on housing, and they really deserve our thanks for everything they did to make this the year of housing. Thank you for being a member of Washington Realtors.
All right, so a lot of good bills passed. That's gonna, hopefully help us out this year and to the coming future to bring more housing. All right, let me continue. Work. Industry news, what do 8 out of 10 homeowners want their agents to know? This is one of the things I wanted to hone in on, was sellers are open to solutions. 72% of homeowners said they chose agents who came to listing presentations with options and white glove solutions. Hint, hint. Almost 8 out of 10 sellers said they would also choose to work with a realtor that offered a pay at close concierge solution. Market Ready Plus. If you guys are not mentioning that at every single listing appointment, you are failing. So please get the training on it. It's super easy. You can even log into your MyDesk and watch it right from the login into Market Ready Plus. I know a couple of you, have even told me that, oh my goodness, I almost forgot to mention this. And as I was walking out the door, I said, oh yeah, I almost failed to tell you. We have a program called Market Ready Plus where we can do the repairs, fix it up, get the house all ready to go, and you can pay for it out of your proceeds out of closing. And they were like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And yeah, of course, our broker got the listing, and pretty sure that they got it just because of that one thing. So there's proof in the pudding right here. So please do not forget that and mention that. Oh, did you guys know too that our old program was limited at a cap at 3% of the sales price? Right now, the figures that are coming in from all the people who've been using the new program, do you know what the average percent is? What was that? Yeah, it's a little over 5 now. So I was telling you, people are wanting to do more. So make sure you mention this. It's gotta be a part of your seller consultations. We're gonna skip that one for now. Company news and highlights. Market Insights has got a brand new update that is going to launch right on June 1st. Gotta click this one. Fortunately, this one will not stay in the presentation.
Hello, John L. Scott. We wanted to let you know, starting June 1st, Market Insights will have a new look and feel. So all of your clients currently receiving Market Insights from either neighborhood campaigns or property tracker safe searches will now receive the new Market Insights. So click on the image in this email to get your sneak peek of the new format. On the top of Insights, you will see your contact information instead of in the footer, and clients will see their search boundaries on a map as well as a summary recap of the market activity for the previous month. And just below the map is an interactive chart displaying the last 12 months activity and market trends. Mouse over the reflection points to display the actual numbers for new listings and pending sales each month, as well as the active inventory at the end of each month. Furthermore, Market Insights will now include thumbnails of properties. Click on any thumbnail to view the details, or click View All for the actual map search and gallery of listings for either active, pending, or sold properties. And at the bottom of Market Insights, clients can view a summary and details of all sold data. Click on any address to view the property details. So what a great way to view hyperlocal market activity pertinent to your clients. With neighborhood campaigns, your clients will see all activity for that specific market area, while your property tracker clients with saved search criteria will receive a more defined hyperlocal market insights based on criteria settings such as number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and more. So if you or your clients are not already receiving the Market Insights, please check out some of our tutorials in this email on how to schedule a Market Insights notification from either neighborhood campaigns or property tracker. Keep all your clients informed on what's going on in their hyperlocal markets and set them up to receive the next Market Insights. And if you yourself are not receiving Market Insights for the areas you serve, get yourself signed up before June 1st and keep an eye out in your inbox for the new Market Insights starting June 1st.
This is huge. The technology with the IDX is going to carry through on all of those properties. So this gives you more odds of the client actually clicking and then jumping into your website, looking around, maybe looking at open houses, being able to then contact you directly, regardless of what listing is showing up there. Even if you've never had a listing in your life, all of the listings in that hyperlocal search will show up in there. So this is huge. Thank you, Linux, for changing this and making this change and expanding our technology. Sure.
Okay, so this is big because we thought people would want to see photos of what the houses actually look like. And they can see photos of the new listing, the pending, and the closed, active inventory, all those sorts of things. And this is for those in your relationship database, the homeowners in your relationship database. Sign them up for a neighborhood. And if there isn't a preset neighborhood right now, make sure that we get one submitted. You want to sign yourself up, so you know what it's the first person you sign up for neighborhood is yourself. so that you get it, so you know what it feels like, and you check it out and everything else. And then we know you'll do each person within your database, do 5 a week or something. This is one of those items that, they'll get every month, a market insight. And every Friday, they get, if there's a new listing in that particular neighborhood, they get a notification there was a new listing in the neighborhood. You know, so it's broker branded to you. It's your client, it's broker branded to you. So after you do your client base, also for geographical farm, what a win situation. If you have a geographical farm, make sure there's a preset neighborhood, first mover advantage. If you've been doing it, just jump on it and get everybody signed up because you're their information source in that neighborhood. So 2 great places. And we'll have more coming out on this, but I just want to give you a little bit more of an update. And the whole team really put in a lot to get this accomplished.
Yeah, these are amazing. So in your handouts, you even have a sample of what it looks like. You should have gotten an email from Constant Contact today with this same stuff. Like Jeff said, you can watch the video, there's attachments. But this is huge. It actually shows the analytics to the polygon that you draw. No other company has that technology. I mean, that is huge. You guys know I'm a big nerd, so you know I love this stuff. It's broker branded, all of the thumbnails, everything, and now they categorize everything in the actives, pendings, and the solds. And then everything of what sold last month for property transferred. It also has the video of the community, nearest community that's connected in that search too. Very cool. All right, Win a Trip is coming up August 31st. I know that those of you that use these for your open houses and also for your clients and your VIPs. A lot of people have had success from this program. We've even had one winner here. So that's very cool. It's definitely something to utilize. And then, of course, John Scott Home Valuation Week was a huge success. They jumped 73% and 61% for total monthly reports for a total participants counts of 318 brokers, which is up 24%. And then the winners, actually Bradley Hansen took 2nd place, got a $100 Amazon gift card. I'm guessing he probably got a client.
Yeah.
Which is worth a lot more, but it's the whole idea that counts. Feature John Scott tools, last but not least, newly updated JLS Open House app for iPad. There's a beta that's starting today. If you want to be on the list, I'm sorry, it's iPad and iOS only for right now, but I talked to the developer this morning and he's going to give access to a small group. So email me, tell me you want to be on that list. And some of the cool new features is that it is independent owned. It's an independent app. So every time someone registers and they come to your open house, and it doesn't matter if it's your own listing, you can actually utilize it for a listing if you're doing it for someone else. If someone comes in and registers and they type in their info, they automatically sync into your My Desk. So, and it's going to put a category of open house. Yep, automatically we'll put it in, and it's automatically going to send an email after the open house is done for thank you for visiting with all your branding, all connected. And they can get to your app, to your website, they can text you. So this is very cool. Here's a sample of what it does. You can also find upcoming open houses to see in your list of your listings, and you can add it that way, or you can search for it for the MLS ID. This is a sample what the screen looks like now for someone to log in and register for the lead entry. At the end of it, it'll give you a list of the attendees of who did visit it and at what time. And then it's going to send them the email for thank you for coming to the open house. Don't forget to follow our YouTube channel. If you want to scan, if you want to go ahead and check that out. If you haven't yet, this is where all of our recorded classes are going. The only way to get them though is in the playlist. I hid them so that they're not public. I don't want to train Skyline. Sorry. We're going to go ahead and keep things going in there. So they're hidden. But it is at John L. Scott-Kent North office is the YouTube channel. Go ahead, subscribe. Unfortunately, it's not going to give you notifications of new videos because again, we're hiding those on purpose, but at least we now have a place for all of it to be so that you can rewatch. I noticed the top videos for plays was John Bai's video and the new the ADU class. So, and also competing offers, winning in the competing market. Like those top 3 videos are the ones that have the most views. And then again, that is what it looks like in the playlist. Unfortunately, in playlist, you click it and it'll kind of like start playing for the most new video. All you gotta do is stop it and then look at the other videos on the side. That's the only way I can get it to work. So at least it's there. So that is going to be our last thing. Quote of the month is, my goal is not to be better than anyone else, but to be better than I used to be. And that is it. And one last thing, Yvonne has an announcement.
Yes, can I say two things?
Sure.
One is on John By class. Who was there? Okay, so I took it to heart and I started having meetings with vendors I didn't even know, but wanted to get to know. And I used his interview questions.
Gold.
Huh?
It's a goal.
It was gold. Everyone I interviewed was saying, can I have that questionnaire? So that they could go and interview people. That was one. And one of the questions on there was, who do you know that you think I should know in my business? I've gotten 3, 4 estate attorneys, financial planner. I mean, so I'm getting some good people and I'm meeting with them. And now I just met with an attorney who just referred me to 5 people. And I'm having them do the soft intro where they are emailing saying, hey, I would like for you to meet Yvonne Brink. She's been in the business up to now. I think she'll be great with, so I don't have to do the heavy lifting.
Right.
So for those who didn't take the class or who did take the class, pull that stuff out and do it because it works. Okay, so that was one. So yay to John for sharing with us.
Yeah.
The other one is, you guys know I'm the past president of the Women's Council. We have an awesome event coming up with the Rainier. It's a Rainier game on, oh my gosh, tell me the date is on here, June 29th. And it opens at 5:30 and it includes access to the private party deck space, all-inclusive barbecue buffet, beer, wine, sodas. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I would love for as many of you guys to join us. We do have these on the doors around here and the bulletin board. You just need to scan the QR code. So again, please join me. Thank you.
All right. Anything?
So July 19th, we're gonna have our NAREP meeting. It's gonna be here. John By is gonna be a speaker. He's gonna be talking about how to grow and scale your business. We're gonna have Ali Samuel, which he's been on HGTV, he's on the news all the time, learning about how to scale your business using social media. And then we're gonna have Gisenia, what was I saying, something. She was in the top 250 loan officers for NAREP, so it's gonna be here at the office, Celestino. So if you guys are not a member of NAREP, please reach out to Fabi, to Tony, to myself, and I hope to see you guys there.
What's the date again?
July 19th,
Time?
5 o'clock. Right after.
Lennox?
Yes, I came down to do a promo for Josh's class on Thursday. So here. A poll was conducted by Realtor.com in February, found that around 82% of people who would otherwise want to sell and move up felt trapped by their currently low mortgage rate. So that's the reason why there's fewer homes coming on the market. They're locked into 3%. They feel trapped. They can't move. So Josh's class is all about the activities he's doing, and maybe we can pick one or a couple of them up and implement the activities on a daily basis, weekly basis to generate business. So I would be here at that class. That is one of the most important classes. It's Thursday, along with all the other ones you've done already.
Awesome.
I just want to thank John.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for making it. Really appreciate you. Very, 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 very last thing. Who likes to run? Got any runners in the room?
Yeah.
We're doing Ragnar. We're gonna start we've already recruited most of our team. We need 8 more runners and 2 more drivers.
Just do it.
The average is 17 miles
But like,
and 3 legs. That's the straight up average. Average. So come talk to me or shoot me an email.
Volunteer.
Now we only need 7 more. Who else? The 1 leg. All right, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Okay.